Cuban with you. Thank you. Oh, this is nice. They're beautiful. He said these were from the creative team. Isn't that great? Boy, I paid them a lot to make sure they'd get that done for me. No, I didn't do that. Okay, moms, are you ready to celebrate? Yeah, sounds like it. Okay. First, I want to thank Carly and the band for that beautiful song. I love Lauren Daigle, and that song was just loaded with great lyrics. Just always remember, Jesus always loves you, and he never gives up on us. So, moms, this is our day, all right? We're going to love this day. We're going to it's all about us. We're going to have a good time. We can do whatever we want, eat whatever we want, don't you think? And have a good time. God didn't design us to be perfect. He designed us to be special. And we are special, I think. And you are very special. I don't know where to start here. Okay, I want you to listen carefully. If some mother went through labor for you, I would like for you to stand up. Well, there. Half of you got it. You may be seated. I didn't know whether to try that or not. I'll repeat it. If some mother went through labor for you, we certainly hope y'all, please stand up. All right. I thought I'd share with you my Mother's Day card from from Big Boy, my guy. And it says, a Mother's Day tattoo. Yeah, a Mother's Day tattoo for my sexy wife. Hot mama. And then on the inside it says, Daddy likes. Happy Mother's Day. Love you, honey. Now, what he missed is that there is a tattoo right here. I can take it off and put it on. I really thought about slapping it right here, but he probably wouldn't have liked that. Okay, so I know you know Wes pretty well, and he tends to talk a lot about that kind of stuff, and so there you are. I'm his hot mama. All right. This is my last opportunity to speak out of my heart today. Someone who helped Wes start this church. I've been your pastor's wife for 32 years. I'm talking about friends today. I'm talking about memories. I'm talking about my family. And last of all, I'm going to make a challenge to our moms today. Wes told me that I could do whatever I wanted to up here. Now, I'm not sure what all that meant, but he said if I want to talk about the kids and just talk about them all the time and show a bunch of pictures, do so. So I am. And then, so this past week was my birthday, and I had a surprise party given for me for staff, and it was wonderful. And then I had received 3 video birthday greetings. The first one is from our son, that's always tender and sweet, Clint. Let's watch this.
Hello, Mother. It's your son. It's Clint Dupenda. You like the special effects? I actually got my phone caught in the door jamb of the truck, so turns out that doesn't work out very well. That's why I got special effects. Ruined the front camera. Hey, happy birthday. Hope you have a really special day. Hope Dad gets better. Just want to tell you I love you, and looking forward to seeing you, and I hope you're doing well, and happy birthday. All right, love you, Mom. I'll give you a call a little bit later on. See you, bye.
Now, there's a hidden message there that only moms would know. His phone got caught in the door jamb. So mom's going to be out there in about a couple of weeks, and I know it's like, Mom, you want to help me buy a new phone? I know that's coming, but it's the thought that counts, right? The next one I want to show you are the Dykstra kids, Amy and Justin's kids. They are sweet as can be, and they watch the Wednesday night program almost every week, and they sent me a birthday greeting, and I thought you'd enjoy it.
Happy birthday to
I had friends come up, Jason and Katie will all go at the end of the first service, and they have 4 children. And they saw this going along really good, and they thought, how did they get their kids to behave so well? And then when they saw the ending, they said, oh, okay, we're in the ball game. So the last one is, I love to watch the NFL, and I hate it when the season's over. But a gentleman, friend of ours named Todd Downing, he's part of the coaching staff with the Tennessee Titans. And I thought maybe you'd enjoy just him saying, hey.
Happy birthday, Claudia. Man, we miss you guys. I hope you're having an awesome day and you're feeling joy and feeling celebrated and feeling loved, because that's what you are. Have a wonderful day. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Todd. All right. So, we have our 2 boys, and they were born 14 months apart. And when we brought Clint home from the hospital, Clint was a big baby, like 10 and a half pounds. His cheeks kind of hung over onto his chest. And in the back in the day in the nursery, they displayed all the babies. And they put Clint, had 2 babies on each side, 1 baby on each side, and they were 5-pounders. Clint looked horrible. He looked like a baby elephant. And I just thought, oh, dear. So anyway, when we came home to my mom's house, is where we were staying, and she was holding Chad in her lap, and Chad says, oh, puppy. And no, I know it's pretty big, but no, it's not pup. And so when I was in the recovery room, I thought about this. Chad, when he was born and up through this time, Chad was very quiet. If he ever cried, it was a whimper. And so, okay, Chad needs something. So I'm in the recovery room. There's like 8 other women in there or whatever, and they're bringing the babies in, and here she came. This nurse came. I thought, oh, I feel sorry for that mom. And this baby was screaming bloody murder, red-faced. She came to my bed, and I said, there must be a mistake. And she goes, no, there's not. I said, yes, there is. I said, my babies don't cry. I said, I have one right now that just does not cry. Meanwhile, he hasn't given up. And so she says, let's compare wristbands, please. It was ours. It was Clint, I mean. Oh. So right now I'm going to just show you some pictures of our kids. So proud of Chad and Sarah and Clint and Michael. This is Clint's family. Of course, they live in San Ramon, California, where they're planning a brand new church plant. Clint prayed that he wanted to go where the most unchurched people resided, and that's where he chose. And his whole family is involved with the church. They're just doing great things. Savannah is their oldest, and she has started her own business. And Claire, you've heard Claire sing. She plays the piano and the ukulele and acts, and she loves the arts. And these 2 boys are sportsmen like crazy, and they're the ones that gave the name to the monkey bread that I make called Butt Cheeks, because they look like butt cheeks when you pull them out of the oven. But just a lot of fun. Our second son, Chad, and Sarah, they live in East Grand Rapids. Their daughter, Reese, here at number 23, and Sadie Ray. Reese is going to be a senior. Sadie's going to be a freshman. They both love sports. They both play lacrosse. And this is Sarah, my daughter-in-law. And the newest member of the family is Banjo. I would take Banjo in a minute. I've been begging. I'd take care of Banjo. But I haven't been. Well, the reason I haven't gotten to take care of him, they went to Costa Rica, and they asked us to take him for a few nights. So every morning I noticed his they had it all measured out for me every day and afternoon so that I would make a mistake. So anyway, I would pull out the food and give it to him, and he didn't eat it. So I thought, well, I'll fry a strip of bacon. And I cut that bacon up, and I mixed it up in there, and he ate very well. So after the kids got home, about a couple of days later, Chad calls me, Mom, did you do anything to Banjo's food when you fed him? I said, only in the mornings. Well, what did you do? 1 strip of bacon. Was that on the list? No. But I didn't think it hurt him. So now I think I'm being punished and can't have him anymore. but, but anyway, one of the hardest times I've been having recently is adjusting to the fact that the family, they're all growing up. They have their own individual lives now, their games, their friends, driving the car, and you just don't get to see them as much as you used to. And I've really had a hard time with that. Wes will say to me, well, they've got to eat. Surely we can just say, we'll meet you for supper. But it doesn't work that way. They're on the fly all the time, And so that is why I decided I'm going to take time today to talk about my grandkids. I remember when Reese was 4 and Sadie had just been born, and I met Sarah at Electric Cheetah for supper because Chad and Wes were gone somewhere. So at the end of the meal, Reese says, I need to go to the restroom, Nina. And so I said, okay. And Electric Cheetah is not down a hallway or outside the room. It's within the restaurant right there. You just go to the back wall and go in your door. And so she went to the restroom, and when we came out, I paused. And I was looking over, She says, what's wrong, Nina? And I said, well, I'm looking at the best way to navigate back to the table. And she goes, yeah, I know, Nina, you are rather thick. That's okay. She's 4. She wouldn't do that now. I used to journal everything they said because it's just refreshing. Anyway, I'm going to talk about some friends, that I love Daybreak. I love all you guys. But there's been a few friends that have hung with me for about 30 years. And they're all special in their special way. And so I'm going to share that with you real quickly here. Proverbs 27:9. The heartfelt counsel of a friend is as sweet as perfume and incense. A sweet friendship refreshes the soul. Now listen carefully to this. First service did not get this. I think you're smarter. Okay. Someone said, we will always be friends till we are old and senile. Then we can be new friends. You did do better. It's slow. It builds. So, my first best friend is my mom. Oh, how I miss her. I think of her almost every week. I was a lousy daughter up until really basically when I was 17 and gave my life to Jesus. I took her for granted. I treated her meanly. But yet she was my mom. And when I think about that, I think about all she's did for me. One thing I remember most is that at 5:15, my dad was a physician, and he'd come home at a certain time. We would have a meal. She'd have a hot meal on the table at 5:15 every day. And that was just a great time for the 4 of us to be together and talk. And Dad finally says, Claudia, you're getting old enough. You should be learning how to cook. I'm going to have your mom teach you a couple of times a week. Right, Norma? Yeah, right. The first time I threw up because I couldn't stand cooking. The second time I went in my bedroom and fell asleep and missed the whole meal. That didn't last very long. Okay. My mom accepted Jesus Christ through a television pastor of a church out in California, David Jeremiah. She liked him and she listened to him every day, every morning. And eventually she gave her life to Christ through his ministry. And then she ordered his workbook. And she did a workbook, a page every day. And so I know that my mom, I'll see her in heaven, right? Jesus. Good friends don't let you do stupid things alone. Chris Decker. She was up here a while ago with the babies helping Wes. She's our pastor of the children's ministry, and she has worked many years to become a fully ordained pastor. I always knew this lady would be fun. We've just had so much fun together. And she's always been there for me and had my back when I needed it. Now, I'm going to share one story, and a lot of you may have already heard this, but I have a little PS to it. Oh, sorry. I was kayaking with Wes on the lake, And this is several years ago. And when we got back home, I realized I had lost my phone out of my pocket. I had taken it with me. And I thought, I've lost this in the lake. So about a day or so, Wes replaced it and got me another phone. And I'm in the living room folding clothes, and my phone starts ringing. And I look over, and it says Decker. And it just kept ringing and ringing and ringing. So I finally answered, and she goes, "What are you doing answering a phone?" I said, "Well, you're calling me." And she says, "Well, I didn't know you still had a phone." I said, "Well, Wes got me a new one. What's up?" "Oh," she says, "we're out in the lake right now." She and Harv Westmus, that's key too. "We're looking for your phone." And I just found out this week that Harv had an underground camera, and they literally were looking for my phone. However, Chris thought by dialing it over and over and over, it would bubble. And when it bubbled, they would find it because he had the underwater camera. Aren't they smart? And so they're good friends. Okay. Strong friendships do not need daily conversation or being together. As long as the relationship lives in the heart, true friends are never apart. Becky Deemter. Becky has been a friend, as I told you, just forever. And recently we just talked about how, it was just here on a Sunday morning, how that we don't get to spend that much time together anymore. She was on staff when we first started. In fact, she was our point person and leader of our bookstore. Now you're thinking, oh, that's right. We were one of the first churches to have a bookstore within the church. We were partnering with Family Christian Bookstores, and it was a very large business going on. And she was the one that ran that bookstore and took care of that. And what I'm known for is that she and I had bought tickets to go to Barry Manilow concert, out at the Van Andel. And she came to me. I was on stage doing something, cleaning up something. And she says, "Claudia, would you do me a favor?" I said, "Well, what is it?" She says, "I think I'm kind of interested in this guy here at church. And I think if I give him a ticket to Barry Manilow, he might go with me." I said, "Sure." And that she ended up marrying Rick. So I take pride in the fact that I'm the one that put them together. I don't know if they do, but that's what I do. And so anyway, friends are those rare people who ask how you are and then wait to hear the answer. And Lori Branson is this person. She is quiet, but she's strong. When my father was on his deathbed, they told us that he'd probably be gone in 2 days. And she drove down from here, and she spent 4 days in the hospital with me. Never bothered me, never interrupted me, whatever. I'd see her all the time sitting at the back of the room, or she would run and get us something to eat. But she flew all the way down to Evansville, Indiana to be with me. I will never forget that. Then when I was diagnosed with cancer, she sent me a memory verse every day. Every day. And I tried to, I'm a whiz on the phone and computer, and so I wanted to save all those verses. And recently I wanted to look at them and to review them. I don't know where they are. But I just remember that about her and what that did for me. Many people will walk in and out of your life, but only true friends will leave footprints on your heart. The friend I'm talking about is Mary Merrill, and I'd like for her to come on stage. I'm not sure. There she is. And Mary Merrill has been Wes's executive director of admin for 32 years. She is so very special to us. She's family. 32 years. She's loyal. She's faithful. She's confidential. She ran the church. Yes. Did you bring? Okay.
Claudia is correct in what she just said, Mary. Mary is one of those very unique persons who God directs her life in an amazing ways. When we first started the church 32 years ago, I met her at Kentwood Church, and she had just resigned her position with the Grand Rapids School Board. And I remember she invited me to her party, and I got to meet her boss, the superintendent of schools, and so forth. And then I said, because I thought being on the school board, you certainly would know administration, what are you doing next? Which people are asking me, by the way, Mary, what are you doing next? I tell them, I'm retiring. She said, well, I'm thinking about going to Loganov, Haiti, and working in a hospital there. And I said, well, I know a mission you could work at. It's over in Jenison, Michigan.
Excuse me.
And she accepted her role as my personal assistant 32 years ago.
Yes.
Now, this is amazing. The average pastor only lasts about 5 to 7 years at a church. She's been with me 32 years. Does that deserve an applause and stand to your feet?
Yes.
That's amazing. Yes, look at this. A lot of her family's here today. I want to thank you all for coming over here. Wave your hands so people can see. Yeah,
Yes,
you got a
awesome.
whole fan club over here.
Yes, the Mary.
Mary, it's a pleasure to present this award, 32 years of work in this thing. And you are more than appreciated by all of us for your
You're so loved.
faithfulness, your commitment, your love for his church.
Mm-hmm.
You have been an inspiration to all of us, and I mean that. And so I give that to you. You can keep it this time. First service, I asked for it back.
We had to fight her. She's tough.
As sort of as a memento of our love and appreciation, just kind of a little background here. Our very first band were 2 instruments, piano and guitar. Mike Smith was our guitarist, first service. Our pianist was Mary Merrill. This was our rock and roll band,
She was
Mary
a rocking
and Mike.
machine.
And Mike is an artist. He owns a company, Design Vox. And he is a wonderful artist. He does a lot of impressionist type work. And we got this piece. This is a fabulous piece of impressionism. This is Lake Michigan. Many of you see his work almost daily on Facebook. He takes pictures of Lake Michigan almost every day. And this is Lake Michigan. And Mary, I know you're going to find a beautiful place in your lakeside home just to remember the great work and ministry that you performed in this place called Daybreak. And so again, we want to thank you. And you can actually take this home now, but we'll leave it up here until the end of the service. God bless you.
Yeah, we love you, Mary. You know
God
that.
bless you.
In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Shelley Frody. She's quiet, she's strong, she's always available, she's kind, she loves her life. In fact, one year, a few years ago, Wes invited them to travel with us out west. And now, Wes doesn't like to stay in the fancy dandy hotels. He would rather camp with the animals and walk with the animals and all that kind of stuff. So we went to Yosemite. Is that right? Okay. Yosemite National Park. And she stayed in what we call, it's in Camp Curry, and there's a tent. And it has a hardwood floor and 2 cots, and then this canvas thrown over it. And she absolutely loved it. She can't wait to go back on a second trip. I'm lying. She did not like it. And so, you didn't know that. Shelley would never complain. It was later on. It's like, I don't think I'll do that again. And so anyway, but that's a great, I just love her. This next friend I'm going to talk about, she's been here probably 3 times in the last 32 years. She lives in Lewiston, Ohio, Idaho. She gave me and my husband and this church her son for 28 years, Mark Courtney. So we asked Mark's brother to see if he could get Marla to say something to Mark. Watch this.
When I was asked to share some thoughts about being Mark's mom, I thought, now what am I going to do? Because this is really out of my comfort zone. But anyway, I got his baby book out and I hadn't looked at it for years, but I had written in there that when he was a month old, that we had taken him to church and that he really enjoyed the music. And so that was pretty amazing to me, that at 1 month old, that we were already kind of having a hint of his creativity. When he was in about 3rd grade, I got a little card, a Mother's Day card, and what it says is that he was supposed to tell what is a mother, and he said, a mother is love, good, a spanker when we are mean, a helper, a boss, a good cook, a good ironer, a sewer, not a good sewer, just a sewer, a good babysitter, and a mother is made of money. Well, I'm glad that was his perception, because his mother was not made of money. We got a letter from camp, and I'm just going to read a little bit of it. It says, Mom and Dad, how are you? I am awful. I've got sick. I just have a stomach ache from adjusting to the food. We had watery spaghetti. And then here's a little tease to Sister. Tell Christy that Kenny's old girlfriend is here, and boy is she good looking. The best part is on the bottom. It's a P.S. Tell Dad to mow the lawn before I get back, and make sure you stay on your diet. But anyway, then when Mark went off to college, I had a very hard time. And when I would walk by his bedroom, I would cry. And so I ended up just shutting the door until he came home for Christmas, so I didn't have to look in the empty room. But when he was in college, and this was a trait of Mark, you never knew what you were going to get. We got a letter on adding machine paper. And so if I had to describe Mark, I would describe him as being a perfectionist and having perseverance and compassion and kindness, and a very moral good man. And I'm very proud of him, and I am so privileged that I was chosen to be his mom.
That's just awesome. I think one of the favorite things I heard him say is that Dad makes sure the lawn's mowed. And I think that's because he didn't want to mow it when he got home from camp. I could be wrong. Marla, we went out to Idaho, to Lewiston, when Mark's father passed away. And that was time given to us to spend more time with Marla and to realize what a strong, wonderful woman she is, a woman of strong faith, which explains to me Mark's faith and how that has passed through to him. Mark has been here 28 years serving Jesus. And so, it is friends along the way that help us appreciate the journey. And I'm talking about Ariana Eckert. Jeff and Ariana are going to be our new pastoral team here. And she's director of the Never the Same camps that you heard George talking about earlier. I've watched Ariana and her love and her commitment to her family. I so admire her strong faith. She's really a prayer warrior. She's a woman of God. And I just love her. She has this beautiful laughter that she enters the room with and has. They have 3 beautiful daughters. I've known her for more than 20 years, but I think in the last few weeks, I've got to know her even better. The next picture is Wes's mom, Grace Dupin. She, that's recent. She's 89, and or 88. What is it? 88. And this woman, I've known her for 50 years, and she's read the Bible through 17 times. She is a woman of God and faith. She has the funniest humor, and it's a good thing because Wes's dad has, and so hope that's okay. And so, anyway, but she's so much fun to be with. Our children just adore her. And she's a happy, happy woman. Wonderful to be around. The last person I'm going to acknowledge is a creative, adventurous, inspiring, confident, innovative, and bold. My best friend, my lover, the father of my children, the best granddad ever, a man of character, a man faithful to his calling, sharing Jesus. He has never wavered. The call he put out for this church day one is the same today. It's all about Jesus and winning people to Jesus and helping them find and have a life with him. He entertains me. We laugh a lot. Of course, it's Wesley. Soon we'll celebrate 50 years of marriage, and we have had quite the journey. And so I love him. Okay, I started my walk through motherhood at age 23. Excited and very unknowledgeable, I have now come to the conclusion what a long walk motherhood is. My life as a mom and Nina has created countless moments of joy, love shared, deep fulfillment, and awesome memories. Yet there's times of loneliness, feeling inadequate, wondering what are the right choices, discipline, and on it went for me. I do realize that God designed the role of moms to be one of the most important relationships a child will ever have. We as moms will have a unique individual path to walk. No one will have exactly the same walk or journey. God intended that I would get to know him and his ways, that I would ask him for personal help and trust him to take care of us. I was not to follow a formula, but to live an intimate relationship with him as I learned to walk with him. That intimate relationship begins with a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, to have a vital relationship with him and acknowledge him. Ladies, I could talk about many ways to love and influence and guide our kids. However, I just want to talk about the most important subject for moms is how to pray and how to teach our kids to pray. Colossians 4:12, always earnestly praying for you, asking God to make you strong and perfect and to help you know his will in everything you do. Prayer is important to our kids, all ages. We bless and better their lives when we let them see and hear us pray. When we pray for them and pray with them, it's one more way to love them. It's one more way to train them for their life, especially for their future when we won't always be available and they're on their own. If you want your kids and grandkids to follow God, you must make God a part of your everyday experience. You must teach your kids diligently to seek God in all aspects of life and not just those that are church related. You see, what I just shared with you is something that I had no understanding of after I got married. My mom and dad were not followers of Jesus. Jesus did not hold a place in our home. I came from an unchurched home. So I had no idea how to lead a spiritual life with my children. I knew how to be a mom, and that's great, but I didn't know the importance of who I am in Jesus with them, and what a blessing he gave to me, and a responsibility he gave to me to help raise our children. If you are in the same situation as I was, today there are so many self-help books that you can look up and read, or else you can become a part of one of our connection groups that would stand with you and help you and guide you. There's nothing wrong asking for help to be a better mom or better dad. We need to teach first of all that our children are valuable, not only to us as parents, but to God who created them. We are to teach their uniqueness, that God made them in a special way with gifts and talents that they will make a great impact on the world. And I believe that. I really believe that maybe the world around them, if you're listening to what I'm listening to on news, I've stopped listening, but that the changes that are happening in our world and in the United States, and if we don't prepare and gift our children the way we should, it's going to be a lonely life for them. When George took time up here during the announcement period to share with you how important NTS camp played in the life of his daughter, he meant that. And she's an outstanding young woman. But all of us as grandparents, moms and dads, if your kid's not signed up, sign them up. Grandparents, if you have extra money, send them. Send them to camp. Sponsor a child that can't afford to go to camp. It's that important. And those camps, I'm telling you, if you'd ever go we're groupies. Wes and I follow them around during the summer. We love it. We love NTS camp. Abraham Lincoln said, I remember my mom saying prayers, and they have always followed me. They have clung to me all my life. That's a pretty strong statement, isn't it? And we know how he turned to God in his presidency. Philippians 4:6, don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he has done. First service, I was a blubbering mess. I cried through the whole message. And as soon as I came down, I said, well, Wes, I'm not going to say what I said. But he says, no, it was fine. And I'm trying to hold it together and be more mature. But I hear that laugh over there. I have often said, where would I be today if someone hadn't crossed my path and told me about the love of Jesus Christ? I can tell you where I'd be. I know where my brother, he's on his third marriage. Wonderful wife, Barbara. I can tell you where my mom and dad ended and how my dad really ended. I'm sure I would have gone down that track. But Jesus gave me hope. He gave me peace. He gave me contentment. And I became a new person in him. And I don't know where I'd be today without Jesus Christ. Now you may say, well, that's good for you because you're the preacher's wife. And there may be some truth to that, but I'm telling you that if you don't know Jesus in a personal way, you come to church, that's great. Go online, that's great. But if you don't ooze Jesus' love, you need to. Mom, your greatest prayer starting at your child's birth is their salvation. It's great to pray for our kids, but nothing compares to praying for their salvation, knowing Jesus. Think about it. What else is more important than knowing your child, no matter what age, has given their life to Jesus, has become a Christ follower, our ultimate goal? This means that you as moms need to know him. He's first in your life, you love him, and you want your kids to follow him. Right now, I've decided I want to pray a prayer that I have, that I'm going to pray over the ladies. Really, for everyone. But ladies, I want you to specifically listen to this prayer. And I want you to listen to how it's designed and how the words are put together and the images that it creates. Be open to it because I think it'll move your heart. And then we follow up with Carly singing, "No one ever cared for me like Jesus." I want you to listen to those lyrics. I pray that you would be women of prayer, so that you would be a rebel for God in this godless world, that you would live for Christ in a world that lives for self, that you would cause trouble for Satan and advance the kingdom of God at home, in the church, and wherever God places you on the map. I pray that you would be women of prayer, so that God's word would continually awaken you to true wisdom. And if you are single, that Christ would be your first love, that you'd leverage your single life for God's work, living pure and on purpose. And that if and when you marry, it would be a man after God's heart. And if you are married, that Christ would be the source of loving your husband, that you would carry a spirit of peace over a spirit of contention into your home. And if you have children, that you would pour into them as your first career. Whatever else you do in the marketplace, that your kids would be poured into and prayed over like Mary poured in to and prayed over Jesus. I pray that you would be women of prayer, that all worry and fear would find rest in God, that your sense of womanhood would be formed and fueled by God, and that your life would be blessed under God. Bless you, Carly.
If my heart could tell a story, if my life would sing a song, if I have a testimony, if I have anything at all, no one ever cared for me like Jesus. His faithful hand has held me all this way. And when I'm old and gray and all my days are numbered on the earth, let it be known in you alone my joy was found. Let my children tell their children, let this be their memory, that all my treasure was in heaven, and you were everything to me. No one ever cared for me like Jesus. His faithful hand has held me all this way. And when I'm old and gray and all my days are numbered on the earth, let it be known in you alone my joy was found. My joy, my joy. I'm still in love. You're still enough for me. Still all I want. You're still my everything. still enough for me. Still all I want. You're still my everything. No one ever cared for me like Jesus. His faithful hand has held me all this way. And when I'm old and gray and all my days are numbered on the earth, let it be known, in you alone my joy was found.
I think you agree with me that that song is beautiful, and that if it didn't touch your heart, you might be made of stone. But thanks to Craig and Carly. If there's anyone here today that needs Jesus, you may simply say, Jesus, I need you. And he will meet you. And he will walk with you. And he will live with you. And he gives you life, and he gives you hope and peace and joy. Bless all of you. I love you. Happy Mom's Day.